about that whole situation?
What's going on, guys?
It's a tricky thing for me to answer.
Opening day.
I felt
Agree
so
or
many
disagree? Do you guys agree or disagree that it's opening day?
things. Times I felt scared.
Let me know. But if you disagree, don't let me know.
I felt embarrassed. Ultimately, I just felt terrible.
We'll put out this tweet and we will get going, but really not all that much news. I mean, it is a 2-game regular season slate, so we know pretty much exactly what's going on. Agreed. Okay, thank you, Matt. That's a lot better. Okay. We got 57 minutes till lock. How do we feel about the Harden and Durant stack on FanDuel? I think both of them are fine to play together, more so than any of the other guys. Like, I'd rather play those two guys than two Lakers guys, but in a vacuum, I would prefer LeBron just straight up over Kevin Durant. I know Durant is a bit cheaper, but on FanDuel at least. But I like LeBron more. James Harden is probably my pick of the litter, though. Day numero uno. Let's get it. We get 8 straight months of this, man. 8 straight months. Buckle up. AD and Brolo or Steph and Porter? AD and Brolo for me. AD and Steph aren't too far off for me. And I like Brolo considerably more than Otto Porter here. No Red Bulls or Bangs. I know, I need to get back on the energy drinks. Alright, guys. But before I get into this, guys, big news. Big exclusive sponsor for this upcoming NBA season. All the way through the end. Shout out to all of you guys who continue to show support, watch my videos, come into these streams, are in the Discord. But I signed a big sponsor with Prize Picks. I'm going to be with them throughout the entire NBA season. Use code Taylor, TAYLOR, when signing up and depositing for a 100% instant match bonus of up to $100. If you guys join my Patreon, I'll be dropping my favorite Prize Picks plays over there every single day. We're going to go over a couple of my favorite plays a bit later in the stream on Prize Picks. But before we get into actually the slate, I do want to mention, I do think that LaMarcus Aldridge 23.5 is a bit high. I'm hammering the under. They're going to have to divvy up those front court minutes between Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Millsap, Nicholas Claxton, and you know, KD's going to play some of the 4 as well. So, I think that they're running real thin with these front court minutes, and I think it's going to be a pretty tough for LaMarcus Aldridge to get there. Appreciate you guys. All right. Yeah, Prize Picks coming to many of these other states. They just became legal in Maryland as well. But let's just jump right into the slate. I'm going to go over pretty much my game notes as well as the most recent news that we've gotten, which isn't much, but there is some things to go over. We got some starting lineups, some speculation on starting lineups and what I think they are going to do with the rotations. But we will start with the Brooklyn Nets versus the Milwaukee Bucks. At 236.5 over-under, Bucks are currently minus 1.5 point favorites, so the money's moving more onto the Bucks than it already was. I like the Bucks today quite a bit. Obviously, they are going to be without Kyrie Irving. They ended last season with the lineup of James Harden, Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, and Blake Griffin. I'm expecting the same here, although Steve Nash, when asked what the starting lineup was going to be, he just said no way, no comment. He's not going to talk about what the starting lineup is going to be. So, I mean, I don't know what it's going to end up being. If Bruce Brown doesn't start, I would be somewhat concerned. We go back to their last preseason game. Actually, I'll bring it up right here. they were without Blake Griffin, so keep that in mind. So they were experimenting with a bigger lineup with Nicholas Claxton at the 5 and Paul Millsap at the 4, KD at the 3. And then Bruce Brown came off the bench, but he didn't see action until the second quarter, and then he ran with the scrubs to end the game. That's concerning if Bruce Brown doesn't start. If he starts, I feel comfortable with his minutes. But the fact that Patty Mills and DeAndre Bembry and Javon Carter were playing those wing minutes in front of Bruce Brown is concerning. Now, if he's starting, I think you should be playing him. I like Grayson Allen more than him regardless. But we're definitely going to have to wait and see what that starting lineup is. But with this game being the first of the slate, I think we are going to get that news a bit ahead of time. And of course, I'm sure you guys are going to let me know in the comments when that happens. But yeah, I mean, James Harden, Kevin Durant, they're going to be staggering their minutes. They're going to begin the halves and end the halves playing next to each other. But in the middle, they're going to play opposite of each other, staggering the minutes without Kyrie Irving. So whoever is out there is going to be the focal point on offense when they're out there by themselves. Go back to last year with no Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving on the court. So these minutes when James Harden is on and they're staggering the minutes with Durant, he averaged 1.75 fantasy points per minute with a 59.5% assist percentage. That is absolutely insane. Kevin Durant in the similar situation with no Kyrie Irving or James Harden on the court averaged 1.65 fantasy points per minute. I definitely prefer James Harden to Kevin Durant in this matchup. I thought Kevin Durant would end up being a bit higher owned due to that recent playoff series against the same Milwaukee Bucks team. And so I thought he was going to be higher owned. I mean, he put up 100 fantasy points at the end of the year. He was absolutely dominating the Bucks, but that was with James Harden playing hobbled. He probably should not have been out there on the court. He was pretty much just a body out there. And so I think this is going to be James Harden's team, at least in the regular season in these games. Maybe in the playoffs, it's more geared towards Kevin Durant. But Kevin Durant, a bit more scoring dependent than James Harden. I'm definitely prefer James Harden. Like I mentioned, I think Bruce Brown is worth a play if he is indeed starting. But with Steve Nash saying that before the game, I mean, I'm pretty concerned with what the starting lineup is going to end up being. But of course, that is the first game of the slate, so we are going to know ahead of time. Move over to the Milwaukee Bucks. They are going to be without Dante DiVincenzo, Bobby Portis, Semi Ojeleye, Rodney Hood. Of course, I think that Grayson, if you watched my video earlier, I think Grayson Allen is going to continue to start in the absence of Dante DiVincenzo like he has been in the preseason. They like him enough to sign him to a 2-year, $20 million extension just a couple of days ago. So I think he comes in here and he plays relatively big minutes. 28, 30 minutes. I prefer him to Bruce Brown. I prefer him to Kent Bazemore, who I think could end up being higher owned than Grayson Allen. I hope they don't come out with the starting lineup until a bit closer until lock, so I can take advantage of that with Grayson Allen. But I'm going to be playing him regardless. Giannis Antetokounmpo, not much to say. I think he's the top spend up option on the entire slate. Only $10,000. He should be in that 11K range. He's just entirely too cheap. As even with all of these studs on the slate, without Semi Ojeleye, without Bobby Portis, and then PJ Tucker no longer on the team, he is going to be the small ball center when Brook Lopez is not on the court. I don't think Mamu gets into this game. Nwora might get some run. Actually, I'm pretty sure Nwora is going to get some run, but not enough to be to play. But Giannis is going to get some run at the 5, which is very good for him. And he has improved his jump shot in the offseason, changed his form a bit. And it was telling in the preseason. He shot 71.4% from mid-range and 66.6% from three-point land throughout the preseason. Now, obviously, those are pretty lofty numbers that are unsustainable, but it does show that he is very young and he is still improving, and he can be better than he has been in years past, even with him winning 2 MVPs, with him winning and carrying the Milwaukee Bucks to a finals last year. Giannis Antetokounmpo, absolute lock for me today. I think you should be locking him and James Harden in your lineups today. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. I think you either go one of these 3 routes. You play 2 studs with Middleton and Drew Holiday, or you play 3 studs tonight and fade Middleton and Drew Holiday. They are just so cheap compared to the other pay-up options on the slate, that they are viable. And then, like I mentioned earlier, with no Bobby Portis, PJ Tucker, Semi Ojeleye, their inability to really go small outside of when Giannis is playing the 5, Brook Lopez should see extended run in this game. I think he plays anywhere from 28 to 30 minutes, which in the regular season, he wasn't really playing all that much because they would play small ball a lot and play Bobby Portis at the 5. But those guys are not going to be playing in this game, so I think Brook Lopez is a fine play today. Not the best per minute producer, but does carry upside, 0.88 fantasy points per minute last year. And then Grayson Allen, my favorite value play on the slate. If you guys want to know exactly what I'm playing on FanDuel and DraftKings, you can check out my Patreon link down below. I'll be here every single day. Over to the Golden State Warriors versus the Los Angeles Lakers. The over-under is set at 227.5. Lakers are currently 3.5 point favorites. Warriors, they're going to be without Klay Thompson, James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga. We already got the starting lineup of Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Kevon Looney. Came out throughout the day. We already knew yesterday that Draymond Green was going to be on a light minutes restriction. So maybe instead of playing 32 minutes a game like he did last game, these first couple of weeks, maybe he plays 26, 28, 30 minutes. So maybe they shave off a couple extra minutes. And then it came out today that Andrew Wiggins is on that same light minutes restriction. Now, I didn't mind Draymond Green coming into this slate, but now that I know that they are on light minutes restriction, that is enough to take me off of them, because I think there are plenty of good plays today that I don't think you need to necessarily go to these guys if they're not going to see their full allotment of minutes. And not to mention, this is a very tough defensive matchup against the Los Angeles Lakers. So, scoring is going to be hard to come by from this game. And just to reiterate, I mean, the first game is a full 10 points higher in terms of over-under. So I'm definitely targeting the first game a lot more than I am the second game. Really just focusing on the in-game showdown in this last game. I think we are going to get a ton of edge. If you guys want to join that in-game showdown group, I think we have one spot left. It's in the Patreon. So go and grab that spot if you want it. But yeah, I think Steph Curry is fine up top, but he is just so scoring dependent that it's hard for me to get there. Draymond Green actually leads this team in assist percentage. If he's playing limited minutes, that's definitely bodes well for Steph Curry in terms of him handling the ball a lot more. But it's Jordan Poole who I really want to focus on at 4,800, probably the best point per dollar play on the entire slate. I've been very, very high on him throughout the offseason. Coming into the season, I thought I was going to get him at a sneaky price or at sneaky ownership coming into the season, but he absolutely dominated the preseason. If you guys played preseason, you know how well he did. It looks like he surpassed Andrew Wiggins as the second offensive option on this starting lineup from the Golden State Warriors, and he's only $4,800. Should close out the game, should play 30 plus minutes. I think he's a lock on FanDuel and DraftKings. And then Kevon Looney at 4,100. So both the Warriors and the Lakers look like they are going to start two traditional centers, but as always, these teams never close with a traditional center. You go back to last year with the Lakers, with Marc Gasol, Andre Drummond, Montrezl Harrell. They would play through the first three quarters, but they would never play at the end of the fourth quarter. It was always Anthony Davis at the 5. And so the Warriors are a similar team where I'm expecting them to close with a small ball lineup. Now, it could either be Draymond Green or it could be Nemanja Bjelica, who has been the direct backup for Kevon Looney throughout the entire preseason. And if Draymond Green is on any sort of minutes restriction, they might not want to play him at the 5, because obviously he's banged up enough to where they want to limit his minutes even remotely. So I think Bjelica has a ton of upside at $3,400. One of my favorite GPP plays on the slate. Now, he is very volatile, but I do believe that he plays similar minutes to Kevon Looney, and he is a much better per minute producer, and he is $700 cheaper. Bjelica has been on the shelf, so he's fresh coming into this season, and I'm expecting them to use him, especially early on in the season until James Wiseman returns. So yeah, I'm not really on Kevon Looney. Actually, I hit Kevon Looney's under on FanDuel or on Prize Picks. And then I like Bjelica quite a bit as a GPP play, but just be warned, I wouldn't play him in cash games. But I do like him quite a bit. He's pretty volatile, though. Over to the Los Angeles Lakers. They are going to be without Trevor Ariza, Talon Horton-Tucker, Wayne Ellington. Kendrick Nunn is still questionable. If he is in play, I think that takes away from minutes from a guy like Kent Bazemore. But it looks like their starting lineup is going to be Russell Westbrook, Kent Bazemore, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and DeAndre Jordan. But with how the rotations work for the Los Angeles Lakers, it looks like DeAndre Jordan is going to grab the start. He's going to exit the game, somewhat midway through the first quarter. Anthony Davis will slide down to the 5 and he will play all 12 first quarter minutes. He will exit the court going into the second quarter, and it looks like Dwight Howard should play one stint right there before Anthony Davis returns and closes at the 5. So it looks like guys like Dwight Howard, DeAndre Jordan are only going to play one stint in the first and second halves, one stint apiece, and Anthony Davis is going to play a lot at the 5. Vogel has said it year after year after year that they want to play Anthony Davis at the 5, but it looks like that is what is going to happen in this year. They have to do that, because if you have Russell Westbrook and DeAndre Jordan on the court at the same time, you are going to have serious spacing problems, and you need Anthony Davis to play the 5 so you can fit two more guards/wings like Kent Bazemore, like Malik Monk. And then when we get down to the fourth quarter, we're probably going to see a closing lineup of something like Russell Westbrook, Kent Bazemore, Malik Monk, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. So I think the minutes are relatively secure for a guy like Kent Bazemore. Not the best fantasy producer, but if he's going to play this big of minutes with no Wayne Ellington, Ariza, Talon Horton-Tucker, and potentially Kendrick Nunn, he kind of just has to play the minutes. And then Malik Monk, this dude was shooting lights out in the preseason before he got injured, and they needed him for spacing so bad that if he starts making a couple threes and gets hot, they are going to reward him with minutes. And that's the kind of play that you want in GPPs, that it is volatile, but if they do play well, they are going to be rewarded with more minutes, and they can expand on those fantasy points. So I think Malik Monk is a strong GPP play on this slate. And when we come to talking about the studs from the Lakers, I would rank them as their price as such: LeBron James, Anthony Davis, then Russell Westbrook. I think Westbrook takes the biggest hit from this Lakers team, coming over here and joining the likes of Anthony Davis and LeBron James. I think he loses ball handling duties. I think he loses rebounding opportunities, especially at the times where DeAndre Jordan and Anthony Davis are out there on the court at the same time. I think LeBron James is the safest. I think $9,000 is abysmally low for him. You can easily fit in him, James Harden, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. You can easily do that. And then I think Anthony Davis is going to play more minutes at the 5 than he has in recent years. And, he has this big size advantage over this Golden State Warriors team, especially at the end of the game. More rebounding opportunities for him. And, we saw last game, it was a dress rehearsal game, and he was not shooting well, but he was shooting the most on this team. I could definitely see LeBron and Russell Westbrook feeding Anthony Davis early on in the season, as he's the younger of the three. I think Anthony Davis is a very good play for me. One of my A-tier plays on my cheat sheet if you guys are in my Patreon. And then I think Carmelo Anthony coming off the bench. I'm not the highest on him, and he's a defensive liability, so I struggle to believe that they would throw him out there in the fourth quarter. So we'll talk about him a bit later on the prize picks board, because I think the unders on him are pretty interesting. Unless Kendrick Nunn is in fact ruled out, then they kind of need to play him extended minutes, just because they are light on bodies in this game. But we will get to some questions here, guys. Patty Mills will break the slate. Maybe. I want to see what that starting lineup ends up being tonight. What do you think of Nwora and Mikhailuk? I know I tore his name up as value. Mikhailuk, or are you talking about Mamu? I'm not on any of those bare minimum guys like Jordan Nwora. It would take an injury for him to really get extended minutes. Obviously, he's very good. You go back to last year, Jordan Nwora's stats are crazy. They're very good, but you got to remember those numbers are skewed because the majority of his minutes are coming in blowout runs when he's not playing next to Giannis, next to Middleton, next to Drew Holiday. It's a whole different world now. Do you think the Bucks backup center gets run? Yeah, Mamu. I'm not sure if Mamu gets run. I think what most likely happens is that Giannis plays a lot of the backup center minutes, and it fits this matchup perfectly against the Brooklyn Nets, who are an undersized team. And then I think Thanasis and Antetokounmpo could also get run as the backup 5, maybe before Mamu. Nets need Bruce out there for defense. Mills is a liability. Yeah, absolutely. Like, they don't need scoring, especially when it comes down to the fourth quarter. Bruce Brown is probably going to be out there, and that's the kind of guy who can defend all these positions. Like, he could play really small ball 5. Bruce Brown can. So Bruce Brown's route to minutes seems very, very secure. Yo, if you guys are in here, make sure to subscribe, like this video. I'm trying to hit a certain goal of 20 subscribers. Would really, really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe. So LeBron over Curry today. Yes, I like LeBron over Curry just because Curry is relatively scoring dependent. I think the security in LeBron's peripheral stats is the route I'm probably going to go. But I mean, it's Steph Curry. We all know this. The upside's through the roof. We saw it when we all played him. If you guys are a part of our Discord, we all played him in the last preseason slate, and he put up 60 fantasy points through 3 quarters. So that is definitely possible. Definitely possible for Steph Curry. But this is the slower of the 2 matchups today. They probably get the worst defensive matchup. But yeah, Mike, thank you so much for subscribing. Sandro Mamu. Baze or Bielitsa. Baze is definitely safer than Bielitsa, assuming that Bazemore is starting. But Bielitsa and GBPs is definitely worthwhile, I think. Booze in the building for the first night of NBA, baby. Let's get it, Booze. LeBron or KD on DK? I'm going with LeBron there. Your FanDuel core. I have my FanDuel core posted on the Patreon. If you guys want to know exactly what I'm playing on FanDuel, check out my Patreon linked down below, as well as DraftKings. Bet center on FanDuel today. Probably Giannis. You can throw in Giannis at the center position, and it is definitely viable. GBP-wise, probably Bielitsa. Aldridge minutes. Yeah, so that's the thing I was talking about with prize picks. I think LaMarcus Aldridge's his minutes are really just not safe at all. He's got to split, so he's probably not going to start. He's going to play behind Kevin Durant and Blake Griffin. Paul Millsap is also going to be in the mix. Claxton is probably going to be in the rotation earlier on in the season as well. And Kevin Durant's going to play minutes of the 4 too. So I think the front court minutes are very, very muddied right now. And I don't think LaMarcus Aldridge really plays all that much in this game. He might play like 20 minutes. But 23.5 points, I mean, I could definitely see him hitting the under on this. And another guy I liked pairing him with, I don't mind pairing him with the under on Carmelo Anthony as well. I don't think he sees that many minutes in this game, unless Kendrick Nunn is out, and then he kind of has to play minutes. And then Kevon Looney, I like the under as well. I think he gets a couple stints through the first 3 quarters before the Golden State Warriors eventually close out the game going small with either Bielitsa or Draymond Green at the 5. Melo or Bielitsa. I'm probably going to lean with Bielitsa, and that is a hot take. I think they play similar minutes, and I think Bielitsa is just a better per minute producer at this point in his career. Otto good at 4,300 on FanDuel GPP. So yeah, I think Otto Porter. So if they do indeed close the game small, like I believe they will on the Golden State Warriors, Draymond at the 5, with the regular starters outside of Kevon Looney, you need to add another guy into that closing lineup, and that guy is probably going to end up being Otto Porter. And we know Otto Porter, what he is. He is a good fantasy player, but he is never healthy. But right now, it's the first game of the season. They're healthy. They're somewhat short on bodies. It's probably going to be Otto Porter in that closing lineup. So yeah, I think that he is a far superior play on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings. We go over here on FanDuel. Yeah, Otto Porter is only 4,400. Go over to DraftKings. Otto Porter is in the 5Ks. He's 5.3K. So a much better play on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings. Any Damian Lee love? I'm not on Damian Lee all that much. No, Greek Freak not available on center on FanDuel. Oh, you're talking about Oh, I was answering a question about DraftKings. On FanDuel, I'm mostly just playing Brook Lopez. I think that his route to minutes is pretty secure today with no Bobby Portis, Semi Ojeleye, no PJ Tucker on the team anymore. So they are going to be, it's going to be hard for them to play small ball. So I think we see more minutes from Brook Lopez and we see more minutes from Giannis at the 5. Top spin up option on DK for cash, Giannis, absolutely. And then it was probably be James Harden, then LeBron James. 3 stars, good on FanDuel. Seems like a stars and scrubs build there. Yeah, I think it's stars and scrubs on both sides. Stars and scrubs on both sides. I think on DraftKings, you're either playing 3 studs and scrubs, or you're playing 2 studs with Middleton, Drew Holiday, and then some cheaper guys. How many miss you projecting for Nwora? Not many, mid-teens. You know, this Bucks team, they run their guys quite a bit in competitive games. The problem with the Bucks is that they are constantly blowing teams out, and so Giannis, Drew, Middleton, all their minutes are getting cut a bit short. But with this game currently only being 1.5 point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm expecting this game to be competitive, and so we're probably going to see a full allotment of minutes from Giannis, Drew, and Chris Middleton. Pat and KD or LeBron and Baze on FanDuel? LeBron and Baze for sure. I like Baze more than Pat, and I like Baze more than Pat, and I like LeBron more than KD. Curry, Harden, Brown, Giannis, Nemanja, Allen, Nwora, and Holiday on DK. I'm not on Nwora today, but I feel you trying to fit in all those guys. Best power forward, 4,900 and below on FanDuel. Man, it's probably Otto Porter. Probably Otto Porter there. Yeah, it's Otto Porter. I would rank them. Yeah, it'd be Otto Porter. Yeah. LeBron, Looney, or Davis and Bielitsa on FanDuel. Yeah, it's LeBron and Looney for me. I think Looney and Bielitsa end up playing similar minutes, but I like LeBron from a safety perspective a lot more than Anthony Davis. Mills or Hill? Mills for sure. I don't think Hill plays all that much. I still think that Connaughton and Grayson Allen get a good run. LMA or Baze? Probably Baze. I mean, there's a real big opportunity that Baze plays 30 minutes tonight and LMA plays 20. So, while Baze isn't the best per minute producer, likely getting 8-10 more minutes than LaMarcus, I'll take my chances with the minutes over LMA in a crowded front court. We know this Lakers team is thin. And Bazemore has been getting these starts. Yeah, no problem, Dashing. Yo, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys want to sign up on Prize Picks, you get 100% match bonus up to $100 for signing up and depositing. Use code Taylor. Link is down below. If you guys want to join my free Discord, that is also linked down below. How do you feel about Rondo? I'm not on Rondo all that much. Quick side note on Rondo. I saw that in some of these preseason games, they had been running Rondo and Westbrook out there next to each other, which is just absolutely hilarious from a spacing standpoint. And I think at the same time, they had DeAndre Jordan or Dwight Howard. So, yeah, I mean, abysmal lineup if they ever run that in the regular season. But, yeah, I mean, Rondo would be more interesting if we saw that there was no Kendrick Nunn. I think he would have to play backup point guard minutes. But if Kendrick Nunn does play, which he's currently questionable still, Rondo's minutes, his opportunity for minutes run really, really thin. Melo or B. Brown for DK single entry? Probably Bruce Brown for me. Bruce Brown. Minutes are much, much more secure. Brook Lopez or Otto Porter? Brook Lopez for me. Aldridge a good play. I'm not really on him all that much. I think that front court is pretty spread out. Don't want to take too many guesses on that. Yeah, and guys, I will be here every single day, an hour until lock. So, yeah, make sure to hit that subscribe button. On FanDuel, Bazemore, Mills, or Lee at shooting guard. Bazemore for sure. What do you think about Rondo's minutes? Yeah, I mean, unless Kendrick Nunn's out, I don't think he plays all that much. Bielitsa or Brown? Brown is much safer. If you want to be volatile and be sneaky, play Bielitsa and GPPs. Because while Bruce Brown, his minutes are secure if he does grab the start, yeah, he not the best per minute producer. Like I mentioned, their last game against the Bucks, Bruce Brown played, they went into overtime, so there's 53 minutes of playing time. Bruce Brown played 52 minutes. 52 of 53 minutes, and he put up sub 30 fantasy points. So that just goes to show you how good Bruce Brown is from a fantasy standpoint. Michael, thank you so much for the sub. Joe Harris a good play on DK. You know, I would say he's a better play on DK than he is on FanDuel, but that's not true. FanDuel, his price is abysmal at $4,300. On DraftKings, you do get the 3-point bonus, and he is a much better 3-point shooter than he showed in the playoffs last year against the Bucks. One of the best, if not the best, 3-point shooter in the league. You know, he's an elite 3-point shooter. His shot's going to come around, and he's going to have a lot of opportunities. His minutes are very secure. Should play 30-plus minutes in this game. But, yeah, he's heavily scoring reliant. If he's not hitting his threes that night, you're pretty much drawing dead. Ring season. Curry, Harden, ABC, or Harden, ABC, and Westy. Curry, Harden, ABC for me. In-game showdown, can't wait. Yeah, in-game showdown is going to be lit. Yeah, we have one spot left. If you guys want to join my private in-game showdown group, that is linked down below in the Patreon. Harden points prop 24.5 on DraftKings. This is a smash, right? I do like the over Harden points right there. But I like the points plus rebounds plus assist props a bit more for James Harden. Cheap guys you play in cash: Grayson Allen, Bruce Brown, Jordan Poole. Is Brooklyn really not going to list starters? Claxton starting? Really? Claxton starting? Wow, that makes me like the LaMarcus under. So yeah, if you guys are playing on Prize Picks, I love the under on LaMarcus Aldridge, 23.5 points. That is interesting for sure. You like Porter and Aldridge? I like Porter more than Aldridge. Yeah, especially with Claxton starting, because I thought there was an opportunity that Claxton wouldn't even get into the rotation. But now he's for sure in the rotation because he's starting. And that definitely just kills the minutes of these Brooklyn frontcourt guys. Net starters will be James Harden, Kevin Durant, Joe Harris, Blake Griffin, and Nick Claxton. Man, I am considering fading Bruce Brown now. We'll take a look at it again from the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, so we saw pretty much the same thing in their finale when they treated it like a dress rehearsal game. Claxton got the start. Instead of Blake Griffin was out this game, but he's in now. So instead of Paul Millsap, we're replacing that with Blake Griffin. Look at Bruce Brown. He didn't play until the second quarter, and then he closed with the scrubs. DeAndre Bembry, Javon Carter, Patty Mills were all in the rotation before Bruce Brown. I think I'm getting off Bruce Brown. I'm definitely getting off Bruce Brown. This is big news. And definitely this kills the minutes of LaMarcus Aldridge. You know, he played almost 24 minutes in this game, but that was with him closing the game out. Now, he's probably not going to close the game out here if the starters had played it out like a regular game. So he's probably going to play less than 20 minutes. That is LaMarcus Aldridge. I'm probably going to hit some of these under props for the Brooklyn Nets. Blake Griffin, I like his under prop on his rebounds because he's going to be playing further away from the basket. Claxton's in the rotation right now. Yeah, I like the under on that as well. We need to find a player from another team to pair with this, but yeah, that is definitely worth noting that Claxton's starting now. That's pretty big news. Brook Lopez or Harrison utility? Brook Lopez for me. Thoughts on Jordan Nwora? I'm not on Nwora, dude. I'm way too much Bruce Brown. What a stud. What's going on, Cody? Claxton or DeAndre Jordan? Claxton for me. DeAndre Jordan is probably only playing one stint a half. Yo, so if you guys are playing on Price Picks, I like the under on LaMarcus Aldridge, and I like the under on Blake Griffin rebounds, 4.5 rebounds. But I really like the under LaMarcus Aldridge, 23.5 fantasy points. I think that is a very nice play. I'm going to update the Patreon real quick, guys, because Patreon guys come first. If you guys want to know exactly what I'm doing, exactly what I'm playing on all of these sites, FanDuel, Prize Picks, and DraftKings, you guys can check that out in my Patreon link down below. You guys can join my Discord, though. That is completely free. Claxton is viable. Yeah, I agree. Claxton's viable. If you guys go look at the rotations from this last game, when they treated it like a dress rehearsal, Claxton was a decent play. So I definitely got to change up some things on FanDuel as well with that starting lineup. How much is Claxton over here on? See, Claxton's 4,600. Yeah, I mean, Claxton's viable everywhere. Everywhere. I think I know exactly what I'm going to do. Exactly what I'm going to do. Do you like Mamu at all? I'm not sure if Mamu even gets in the rotation. I couldn't tell you. He is a huge risk. And even if he does get into the rotation, I don't imagine him playing all that much. Although with Claxton starting, maybe the Bucks decide to go bigger a little bit more. I think this more secures Brook Lopez's minutes than anything from that Brooklyn team. Great job on PUD. Maybe you can give the other guy your headset. Oh, why is that? But I appreciate it. Claxton or Brown on DK. I'm going with Claxton over Bruce Brown. Going with Claxton over Bruce Brown. Are you on Bazemore? Yeah, I think Bazemore is a decent play. I think Bazemore, especially pending Kendrick Nunn news, they are so thin in the with their guards that Bazemore is he's probably going to start, and I think that they end up closing the game with Anthony Davis at the 5, which is going to secure Ken Bazemore's minutes, and they're probably going to slide in a guy like Malik Monk or Carmelo Anthony for spacing as well. Will you guys give up Shea Middleton for Embiid, Wiggins, and Brogdon? I mean, yeah. Mills or Brown now? You know, honestly, I might go Mills. I might go Mills because there might be something up with Bruce Brown. Maybe Bruce Brown has not been playing well and why he was playing behind so many of these guys in their preseason finale. Bum, bum. And, you know, on top of that front court situation from the Nets, now he's not a guarantee to play, but there is a opportunity for James Johnson to play in this game and even make it an even worse situation for the Brooklyn Nets front court because, you know, they are facing Giannis Antetokounmpo. You know, James Johnson's kind of that guy that, Giannis is the reason why they bring in guys like that. Do you still like Monk? Yeah, Monk is probably going to come off the bench, but I do think that Monk could close that game out. So I'm still on Monk in GPPs. You know, not a cash game play, but I do think that he is viable. Bazemore or Connaughton? Bazemore for me. Claxton or Porter on FanDuel? Yeah, that's tough. That's kind of the decision I'm making right now. It's probably Claxton for me. Baze or Mills? Probably Bazemore. Okay, I'm making updates real quick on FanDuel. The Prize Picks play is already up if you guys want to get that in before the lines start moving, because I'm imagining the Brooklyn Nets unders are going to start getting hit, and so Prize Picks probably going to lower those numbers quite a bit. Claxton or Bielitsa on DK. Claxton now. I like Claxton. Yeah, no problem, Zach. Toscano or Bielitsa? Bielitsa for me. What do you think of that FanDuel lineup I commented up there? FanDuel's Poole, Harden, Grayson, Pat, Harris, LeBron, Claxton, Giannis, Brolo. So you have Pat over the guy that I'm going to end up playing. But definitely viable. I think you know who I've been talking about. So I think Pat is viable there. I think that's fine, but I like the upside in the lower ownership in the guy that I'm talking about right now. Updating the FanDuel lineup right now on my Patreon. That's linked down below. What do you think? LeBron or KD on DK? I'm going with LeBron there. Assuming you already have James Harden. If you don't have James Harden, I'd probably go with KD there. But I don't want to play KD and James Harden. I mean, they could both definitely get there. But if you want to optimize the upside, you probably want just one of those guys. Who's the Claxton starting? He has no green check. One of their reporters already reported it. And Bruce Brown is not starting also, which is pretty big news. Okay. FanDuel has been updated. Thoughts on Claxton starting? Yeah, I think Claxton is definitely in play. And Bruce Brown, I'm shying away from. I was already looking for an excuse to not play Bruce Brown. But, yeah, now I'm definitely on him, off of him. And, you know, he's still going to gain ownership. Monk or Porter on DK. Porter if I have the money. If you want to be really different on DK, you can go double center on early game with ABC at power forward. For sure. That's pretty sharp. Claxton has a green check. Oh, he has a green check now. Yeah, I mean, that's going to raise his ownership. But, yeah, Claxton is an A tier play for me now. $6,100 util, just run Brook Lopez. Yeah, I would run Brolo there. Jordan Nwora playing. Yeah, he'll be in the rotation, I would imagine, but I think his minutes are going to be very, very thin in what should be a competitive game if Vegas is indicative at all. Lineups updating on Patreon. Yeah, so I just updated the FanDuel lineup, and I am going to update the DraftKings stuff right now. I'm just going to write a quick note for the DraftKings guys. Mamu or Millsap? Probably Millsap. I feel a lot more comfortable that Millsap is going to be in the game. Mamu, I don't really know. Mamu could play. He couldn't play. You know, he's on a two-way contract. He's not guaranteed to play at all. Even with all these other guys out, I think that more than likely that they will play Giannis. But, you know, with Claxton out there, that means that they're going with more of a traditional center, you know, even though he is a bit undersized. More traditional than Blake Griffin at the 5. Poole and Griffin on or Drew and Nwora. Poole and Griffin for sure. Thoughts on Harden, Westbrook, Giannis, Holiday core? Not too bad. What's going on, Dustin? Man, you ready to bink some more tournaments this year? Mills, Jordan, or Millsap? I'm going to go with Mills there. Go with Mills there. Lopez and Bazemore or Claxton auto? Oh, man, that's kind of tough. I'd probably go with the Claxton auto side. Harden, Poole, Allen, Giannis, Bielitsa, Brown, James, Harris. Like it. I like that. Actually, I'm not on Bruce Brown. So outside of Bruce Brown, I like it. You could play Bazemore over Brown. Poole, Looney, or Bielitsa and Claxton. Poole and Looney. You have to play Poole. Although I'm not on Looney all that much. Binks incoming. Let's go. Let's get it, Dustin. Do you think Griffin doesn't go for crazy double-double? Yeah, so Blake Griffin starting at the 4 as opposed to the 5 does not bode well for his fantasy production. I mean, he's further away from the basket, and, you know, he is an improved shooter. More so than he was in the earlier stages of his career, but I'm kind of off of Blake Griffin. I feel like I'm in a dojo right now. You know, honestly, I hope that this music is non-copyright because I forgot to switch the music. But, you know, I guess I'll find out after if this gets copyright claimed. Harden PRA over 40.5 at -165. For some reason on DK they won't just up the total of lower odds. Is that worth the juice? Yeah. I mean, barring injury or something, that I see. It's hard for me to imagine him scoring any less than like 22, 24 points, and I think triple double is squarely in play for James Harden there. So I like the over. I mean, -165 is a pretty steep price to pay, though. Arrow, thank you so much for the sub. Site updated yet? Yes, I just updated the site. So if you guys want to check out the DraftKings and FanDuel updates with exactly what I'm doing, I added some notes. I completely changed the FanDuel lineup. Make sure to go check that out if you guys are a Patreon member. Linked down below if you guys want to check it out. That music is fire. You like it? Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty relaxing. I like listening to it. It is not copyrighted, thank God. Cool. Cool, cool. See, you sub and then let me know a question you answered a question I just asked. Need more people like you in the stream. Music wins. Most of our home runs are over 110 right now. Lopez might put Claxton in foul trouble quick. Maybe. I don't like predicting foul trouble. Always gets you in trouble when you try to predict foul trouble and blowouts. I've been saying that for years and years. Thoughts on Russell Westbrook GPP? Yeah, so, I mean, at this point, Russell Westbrook becomes an interesting tournament play strictly off of his ownership compared to LeBron and AD and, you know, the other studs on the slate. So, he does become interesting. Obviously, he has upside to do so. That's probably just not where I'm going tonight, though. Bielitsa projected minutes. I'm guessing anywhere from 18 to 22 minutes tonight from Bielitsa. Claxton and Otto Porter Jr. or Lopez and Bazemore? Probably Claxton and Porter Jr. This is the most peaceful I felt minutes before lock. Hey, man. This is the spot to be. I'll be here every single day doing the same thing. Hey, we can even listen to the same music every single day. I'll do it just for you guys. Hey, and my videos in the morning, that's got some pretty relaxing music as well. Alright, sorry if I missed it. Last piece in Harris or Lopez. I got Lopez, man. Dude, like me some Lopez. D-Gas, I just saw your message. Hope you found it. Alright, guys, we got 12 minutes before lock. So yeah, I mean, pretty chill start to the season. Only 2 games. Alright, guys, we can get back to the regular stream. Your video this morning popped off. I mean, man, like I said, guys, it is all due to you guys continuing to support me that allowed me to nail this sponsorship for the entire year. That is absolutely huge for me. I'm very excited. Love working with Prize Picks. You know, I've been working with them since my Locks DFS days. If you know, you know, and that was like 3 years ago. So good to rekindle that relationship and lock in a sponsorship for the entire year. All due to you guys continuing to come back. Yeah, 100% match bonus up to $100 if you guys use code Taylor. Posted my plays on the Patreon. I do like the unders on LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin rebounds as well. It says Aldridge will still see low 20s in minutes. Yeah, I mean, that's probably what's going to end up happening in that 20-minute range for LaMarcus Aldridge. Point guard at 3,600 who may still get run. Let's take a look for you right there. Are you talking FanDuel or DraftKings, Shannon? Middleton thought should play around 38 minutes, right? So I don't think that he plays necessarily 38 minutes like he did in the playoffs. But with this being a competitive game, you know, Budenholzer will play him like 36 minutes. 38 minutes is like a very high minutes projection for anybody. But 36 minutes is squarely in play, and realistically so is 38. Yeah, I appreciate that, D-Gas. Rise Wicks. W's. Jordan Poole at point guard on FanDuel. Yeah, absolutely. I think Jordan Poole is an absolute lock on both sites. Just DM'd you on Discord. Is it timely, Chase, or can I get to it after this? Actually, I think I just ran through that, and I was going to answer it right after the stream, because I think you're talking about the in-game showdown stuff, so I'll let you know. Claxton captain with Mills or Grayson captain with Clax? Man, I probably side with Grayson captain with Clax. 4,800 util, already have Pool DK cash. Man, you're close to Otto Porter Jr. I mean, in cash games, probably Claxton. If you're talking GPPs, though, I know you said cash, but Malik Monk definitely in play there. You're talking about FanDuel. So you said 3,600 for a point guard that is going to get run. Let's take a look here. Okay, so the only guy that I foresee getting a chance to play minutes is probably Javon Carter at 3,500. Squarely, just based off of the rotations of their final dress rehearsal, where, you know, he was the first guy off of the bench, and maybe we see that again. So it's got to be Javon Carter there, but, you know, that's some slim pickings right there. How many minutes would Allen have? I believe Grayson Allen will play anywhere from like 26 to 30 minutes tonight. So I like Grayson quite a bit. Final, Harden, Poole, Bazemore, Giannis, Bielitsa, Allen, LeBron, Lopez. Love the content. Can't wait till tip-off. Let's get it, Brandon. I like that lineup. Otto or Pat? Otto for me. I say 28 to 30 here. Yep, I agree. Claxton or Allen for captain on DK showdown. Probably Allen. Like both, though. It's Grayson a great play. I love Grayson Allen today. That's kind of like where I'm planting my flag tonight. Harris to be contrarian or OPJ? OPJ for me. I was thinking him or Chizo. Yeah, I guess he could get some run. I like Chiozza. Whenever he gets minutes, he usually does well. And they are pretty light on ball handlers from that Golden State team. Baze and Cash. I think Baze and Cash is definitely fine. He should grab the start tonight. And I think that they close with AD at the 5, so that just more secures minutes for additional wings now. And he probably has the best chance to close next to Malik Monk as well. And Melo, I guess there is a possibility he could close that game out. Patty Mills in play. Yeah, I think with this starting lineup, I think it is more likely for Patty Mills to get more run. So I think Patty Mills is definitely viable. Would be a GPP play for me. Joe or Lopez on DK going to be Lopez. Is Porter going to see 25 minutes? Yes. Lopez, Otto Porter should see mid-20s minutes. And like I said, I don't think Kevon Looney closes that game out. And so I think Draymond closes the game out at the 5. And I think Otto Porter Jr. probably has the best chance to close the game out in replacement of Kevon Looney. So I think that Otto Porter can play anywhere from like mid-20s to like high 20s. Bielitsa or Nora? Bielitsa for sure. George Hill minutes. I'm not really on George Hill. I mean, he might play a couple 5-6 minute stints, so 10-12 minutes. I'm not expecting much out of George Hill tonight. This Milwaukee Bucks team likes to keep their minutes within their starters, especially since they are thin. Joe Harris or Otto Porter? Otto Porter if you have the money. Actually, I side with Joe Harris there. Sorry. I think Joe Harris' minutes are very, very secure. 7,100 entries. How much salary should I get saved to get different? I have Monk and 300 left. Should I do Claxton and save 800? So I'm assuming you're talking about DraftKings. So yeah, I mean, if you want to get different, yeah, that's something you could do. Leaving $800 because, you know, I know what lineup you're running, and with 800 left over and you're playing Claxton straight up over Monk, Yeah, you are definitely still live, and you know you're becoming so much more different by leaving $800 of salary. Is Blake Griffin a good secondary play? With him starting at the 4, I just hate it, man. Because he is already scoring dependent, and he's playing so far away from the basket now that he's really not going to fall into as many rebounds. And I wasn't even sure if Claxton was going to be in the rotation. Now I know for a fact he's going to be. Patty Mills going to be playing behind him. LaMarcus Aldridge. KD's going to play some run at the 4. I'm not on Blake Griffin at all. Otto or Bazemore? Probably Otto there. Millsap or Claxton? Let's go with Claxton there. Is Aldridge still good? I've never really been on Aldridge today. I've actually slammed his unders on Prize Picks. Massive overlay on FanDuel, 5 cent, 25 cent. Go hit that up, guys. Always want to gain that overlay edge when you can. 3.5 minutes till lock. Westbrook, Poole, Bazemore, Allen, Giannis, Durant, Porter, Claxton, Lopez, FanDuel, single entry thoughts. Love it, man. I think that's very strong. Very, very strong. Best utility play under 5K. Jordan Poole for sure, but I'm sure you already have him. And then if you want to talk strict GPP, I think Malik Monk, he's very, very volatile. Would not touch him in cash games, but I think he has some upside in this matchup. Bazemore or Bielitsa? Bazemore for me. Bazemore is a much safer play than Bielitsa. I think his mitts are much, much more secure. Two and a half minutes, guys. Man, I really appreciate you guys being here. I mean, we were popping off in preseason, but I know that had to do with a lack of competition with content creators. But glad you guys are coming back for these regular season videos, even with so many other people making content. But I can assure you, I'm going to try and give you the best content possible in these live streams and videos. Fading all Lakers on DK, risky. But, you know, I'm not really in love with that team outside of, like, LeBron, AD, and I can tolerate Ken Bazemore. And I think Monk is a pretty good GPP play. But, you know, that's not all that much considering there's only 4 teams on the slate. Best guard, you see 4,100 and under. Yep, Grayson Allen for me. Claxton or Brown? Claxton for sure. Claxton or Brown. Yeah, I like Claxton more than Brown now. For sure. Tonight is the appetizer. Tomorrow is the big dinner. You couldn't be more right. 11 gamer tomorrow. That is going to be a lot to digest. Hey, if you guys watch my videos, I have chapters on my videos now. So if you guys want to skim through my video, you can click on a chapter and go to a specific game. And like, if you don't want to hear my spiel at the beginning that I always give, you guys can just skip to the games. I know a lot of you guys probably get tired of me talking in my introduction before I get to the games. Got 40 seconds till lock, guys. Make sure to lock in. Claxton or Jordan. Sorry, Jordan for sure. I'm getting offered Chris Paul for John Morant. Is this a good trade? I'm getting Paul. I'd much prefer having John Morant. Chris Paul is probably going to have some rest days this year. Hey, I appreciate that, Travis. Glad you enjoyed the content and stream. Thank you for stopping by. A couple seconds until lock, guys. Go. Let's get it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it up. I mean, we're going to keep up the consistency this time. Videos, streams, every single day. I make videos on Pub Sports Radio as well. If you guys want to check out those videos, those are pretty in-depth as well. Plan on making 1 to 2 videos over there a day as well. So, I mean, the content is going to be flowing from me. If you guys want to catch up on everything I'm doing, make sure to check me out on Twitter at TaylorStuber. If you guys want to join my free Discord, that is completely free, linked down below. Shout out Prize Picks, sponsor of this video. Big fan of Prize Picks. Use code Taylor, TAYLOR. When signing up and depositing, get a 100% match bonus up to $100. If you join my Patreon, I give away my plays over there as well. DraftKings, FanDuel, Prize Picks. You'll know exactly what I'm doing on all of those sites. Updated from lock until the end of lock, until the end of lock of the last game. I'll see you in-game showdown members at the end of the day. I gotta check. We might have one spot open for the in-game showdown group, but I appreciate you guys being here. Best of luck tonight. I'll see you guys in the morning. But yeah, until next time.